Hey y'all, I'm Elisa, the Scrappy Wife behind ScrappyWife.com, and today I have kind of a faith art process for you. I've had several people ask me to do an updated version or an update on how I'm using my faith planner. So I have two faith planners. I have one where I take notes every morning, and then I have this one, and this one is where I keep prayers, I keep sermon notes, and I keep power verses. I keep all kinds of stuff in here. So let me just show you how I'm using it right now. I have a couple of envelopes in the front from the Spoonful of Faith line, and of course my intro page. And then the Spoonful of Faith line had an accessory pack that I loved. And so I have a few of those pieces in here. They're new. I haven't really dug into them yet, but I have them up here in front. Thoughts and prayers, feeling grateful for, scripture that is speaking to me, and don't you dare give up. So those are there to start working through. I have my prayer journal right in the front. I just took some old dividers and decorated them. I switch out my prayer pages every couple of weeks. So I take the completed ones out and then insert new ones in, which I just did this morning. And then I keep all of the prayer journal from the whole year together in one set, but I don't keep them all in this journal. So then I have my discipline section, and this is when I write out a verse I'm memorizing this week, some of the disciplines I'm working on, take some notes, things like that. So that is the next section in here. And following that section, there's some more papers for that particular section, is sermon notes. So on the front of sermon notes, I have a few stickers that I can add in. I don't do that very often, but they're there just in case. And then I have sermon notes that I take while I'm sitting in church, listening to the sermon that week. And then often I take those notes and transfer them into a Bible journal entry or something like that. But I like having them to refer back to. So that's my sermon notes section. And then I have what I call power verses. So in here is another insert from one of the faith lines that has, these are more cardstock papers, and I can list out the verses that I have done for power verses, and then it has some other places for answered prayers and gratitude, things like that. And then these are my power verse pages. So I've done several. This is Philippians 4:6 and then Isaiah 55. And today I am going to do a new power verse page. This is just some blank filler paper that I had in my stash. I'm not totally sure what I'm going to do as far as artwork for this page. I do have a verse picked out that I've kind of been meditating on. So that is what I'm going to do right here. And that's it. So that's how I'm using my faith planner right now. Notice it doesn't have any dated pages in this particular planner. It's more of a notebook. I'm reconsidering how I'm setting it up for 2022. So more on that later as we get closer to the new year. But let me share this process with you. I will link everything that I end up using down below. Otherwise, let's go. Okay, I'm actually using several different digital papers that are in my stash. They are all from the Illustrated Faith Print and Pray shop. So if you haven't checked out over there, it's pretty cool because there's tons and tons and tons of printables that you can use in all different ways. And I love when printables kind of speak to my style, and then you can just print them out over and over again, which is super fun. So for this particular page, I do want to cover up the purple over on the side. It's not really in the color scheme that I'm thinking. And I love this particular paper that says be brave, because I feel like that is what the verse I'm focused on is talking about. So I am going to be looking at John 16:33, where it says, I have told you these things so that in me you may have peace. In this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world. So I'm using these papers to kind of cover up some of the color that was already on this particular page, and then I can just trim it off on the side. I'll also be doing some work on the back of the page. So I take the leftover bit right here and I will apply that to the back. So on the front of the page, I like to do the verse nice and large. I do my hand lettering on the front, and then on the back, I leave room to do a little bit of journaling. Really what I want to do is keep track of the dates and the thoughts I have on that particular verse. So power verses for me are verses that come up over and over again in your life, in your studies, just something that you are really focused on. So on the back, I want to be able to have room to notate when I feel like that verse has come up again, what I've learned new about that verse, just little tidbits here and there. I am using several different pieces from Shauna Klingerman's Camp Essentials line. She released this in the same month as Camp Wonder, or maybe the first or second month of Camp Wonder this past summer. So I believe it's still over in the print and pray shop. So I love these big, bold words. And now I'm just trying to decide on some stickers. I love the Spoonful of Faith line. I already know I'm going to need an additional sticker book because I'm using these illustrations like crazy. So you can see me pulling out various stickers, kind of testing them. I know I want a person over here at the top of where it says be brave, and I end up landing on this group of women, and they are holding hands and walking forward, and I think that that is just a beautiful illustration of being brave and supporting each other, which is just fabulous. So I will put those lovely ladies right there, and I'm still just planning on where I'm going to have space to write. So I have hope and faith, trying to figure out where those will land. I have some butterflies. You can see how often I just kind of try things out on my pages. I have a lot of people ask me how I work on layering or how I decide what to use, and I just try things out, and sometimes it works really well and sometimes it doesn't, and that's okay. So it's funny, I actually printed this particular set multiple times, once on white sticker paper and once on clear sticker paper. This is the set from Shauna Klingerman. And both sets worked out really well. So I'm gonna add the clear sticker paper up here at the top, trim off the extras because I will be able to use those in another part of this page. So I'm gonna just trim off the top, and the clear works really well up there. And then in the bottom where I already have the patterned paper, I wanna have the florals again, and luckily I already have it printed on white sticker paper. I had a little issue getting the sticker paper off, so I struggle just a little bit. You can see, I think it's because I cut my nails, so it's really hard to get that sticker paper off, but eventually I do. White sticker paper works very well down here, breaks up that pattern in that line where the Be Brave and the digital paper comes together, and gives a little kind of nesting area for the words that I've chosen to live. So I chose the words hope because I feel like that is one of the things that this verse is talking about, and the words faith. And you can see I'll just use the trimmed off section of these flowers on the back of this page. Makes it a little bit more of a cohesive look when you're using the same elements on the front and the back. And I just love how it kind of covers up some of those corners, adds a little softness to the page. Okay, next up is placing these words. I wanted to use the word heart also on the front, and it ended up just not fitting. I did print these on clear sticker paper, so you can see the florals coming through the clear part of the word, but then you still see it come out because it has that black around it, which I think is a pretty cool effect. And I end up adding heart to the back. So I'm able to get the word in there, which is a word that was really important to me to have on the page, but I don't have to kind of squish it all in on the front. I decided I wanted to bring a little bit more color to this area up here just because it was so black and white and there was so much color on the rest of the page. So I'm pulling out some of the florals that are in the Spoonful of Faith sticker book. I'm kind of switching back and forth between the mini book and the big book. So many of those stickers can be used in so many different ways. Don't feel like you have to be trapped into whatever it's labeled. You can use them however it works for your projects. So I'm trying to decide if I want to add anything else on the page before I start lettering. Sometimes I get a little overexcited and I put too many things down and then I don't really have room for my lettering. So I'm flipping through, just seeing if any stickers are like catching my eye. I love this girl in the bottom corner, and it says grow, and she's planting, and I think that's beautiful, and I'm just going to add that to the back section and then flip through just to make sure there's no other large pieces that I kind of want to keep a space for. And other than that, I am ready to start doing my hand lettering. I have sped this part up a ton. So I will never claim to be the best hand letterer. I have been working on it a lot using the lettering planner from the Happy Planner that they released for 2021. So I've been working on it a lot, but I think there is just something about writing out scripture in your own handwriting. Whether you like your own handwriting or not, it really makes me focus. So I always write it in pencil first because I don't always trust my ability to space things right and to spell everything right the first time. So I'm writing it out in pencil first. Again, this is sped up 8 times. So the majority of working on the spread was writing out the scripture. Once it's written out, then I decide the piece part was too high. It still ends up a little bit high. I don't know why. I'm just like tending towards the higher edge of that, but that's okay. And then I grab my Tombow lettering pen, which is my favorite pen to use. I will definitely link it in the description box. And I'm just going over where the pencil lines are, tracing over it, and we'll add a little more oomph to the words that I wanted to bring out. So I really wanted to emphasize peace. It's been a really anxious time. Back to school has been a hard time for me, especially this year. Really anxious about my kids and their teachers and just wanting everything to go as smoothly as possible. So I definitely wanted to emphasize peace, and then I wanted to emphasize but take heart, because I think God is just encouraging us to really lean in to Him, take heart, and have courage, because He has overcome this world. This is Jesus speaking, has overcome this world, and we are going to do the same. So take heart. God's plan is good. Okay, so once I finish the lettering, then I'm coming back with my eraser, just erasing any of the pencil marks that are showing through, because sometimes that happens. So going through very carefully using a very clean eraser, and I did let it sit for just a minute. I mean, the ink from the Tombow pens dries super fast. It's just a marker, but you do want to be careful that you don't smear it. All right, I will label my verse right here using some of the letters from the Spoonful of Faith sticker book. This is again John 16:33. So I'll use some tweezers here to spell out John, and then I'll just add 16:33 with my pen. I wish they had numbers in this book. That would be super cool. I love it when they include numbers, but this one doesn't, so that's okay. I'll just add it in with my own handwriting, and then I'll just take a look at the page to see if there's any spots I want to fill in. And around the word peace, I do want to fill in a little bit. I don't really like white space in a lot of my projects, so I know that white space has value for sure, but I just wanted to fill it in just a little bit. So I'm adding a little floral and then a couple stickers. This one says just be brave, and this one over here can kind of nest where that one says just be brave. The other one says be a light, and that can kind of nest where I already had the florals. And now I can take my attention to the back of the page. So like I said, the intention for the back of all my Power Verse pages is to have it be a journaling spot, a place to take notes, to write when and why I come back to this verse over and over again. So I'm pulling out some boxes. This is from the big sticker book. These are notched out because they're really intended as, this one probably intended for a dashboard, but also intended as calendar boxes, like your monthly calendar. But I can cover up those notches with other stickers, so I'm not really worried about that. But these give me little journaling spots, places that I can write and add on different notes and things that come up with this verse. So I'm just flipping through, trying to figure out what I want to add. I'm just using up like all the notch boxes. I don't usually use a big Happy Planner, and these would be designed for the big monthly spread. So I feel like I don't need to worry about saving these. Also, I already know I plan to get another one of these sticker books because it is so pretty. So no worries. I'm going to use all of the stickers and not hoard them. At this point, I'm flipping through looking for stickers that I can layer on to cover up those notches. So this one's pretty, but I end up deciding to go for this one that has the mustard yellow in the background. I love it. It says you can do anything. So I'll lay that right there. That covers up that little notch. I love this that says believe that you can. So that kind of breaks up that line over there. And then I'll find some smaller circles to cover the other 3 notches. And that is it for this Power Verse layout. Be sure to let me know if you have any questions or comments. You can leave them in the comment box below. I have linked all of the supplies. Some of them are affiliate links, so just a heads up on that. It doesn't cost you any more, but it does go a long way to supporting this channel. And a huge shout out to my Scrappy YouTube members. Thank you so much for all of your support. If you are interested in finding out more about Scrappy YouTube membership and some of the perks that they receive, then just make sure to click the join button, or you can check the link in the description box. All right, I hope that you have a fabulous day, and as always, keep it creative.